Steve, and thank you for organising another wonderful event. Yeah, we're 2.0. It's basically where social media meets the spatial industry, or Web 2.0 meets GIS. And we're going to explore that and look at some exciting ways that we can actually do something useful for it with it in our industry. So, as a refresher, Web 1.0, Web 2.0, most of us probably know it already. Web 1.0 is one way, publish and forget. Web 2.0, interacting, user-generated content, and general community knowledge building. This is a very fast-moving field. You can tell that by the amazing amount of buzzwords that are flying around that are almost impossible to keep up with. Flickr, Twitter, Facebook, etc., etc., etc. So, is it all hype? Is it all going to go the way of the new Vegemite snack? That's only really for the 20-year-olds with an iPhone. Can we ignore it, or should we really be taking notice? And of course I'm saying yes, we should be taking notice because it's great. We can turn this into Where 2.0. Add location, just give it a good stir. Actually, everyone can do that. They don't need us anymore. Right? Everyone can make a map, do some mashup, have Google Latitude, follow where your phone is and therefore where you are and show it to your friends. Should we be scared of that? There's a lot of things happening. Mashups, of course, we've seen all that. Locations in the Victorian bushfires, swine flu locations, etc., etc. But there are lots of other things happening. You can geotag your photographs these days automatically, upload them, for instance, to Flickr, and there's this massive database of millions and millions and millions of photographs that are now geotagged and queryable. Is that going to threaten something like Street View, is the question. Now, as I said, this is all geeky. This is another example. Now, your Twitter device, Twitter API, has now been enhanced also with geocoding. So it allows us to go and see what people are talking about in our street, or where people live that talk about a certain subject. You can map that and look at, for instance, the trends. So what are people in New Zealand talking about compared to people in Sydney, compared to people in Melbourne? Immediate, active, and a lot quicker and faster than, for instance, a news poll. Right? Is this going to replace it, augment it? We don't know, but it is very exciting. Now, is this just cute gadgets that we can talk about at events like this, or is it actually going to be useful? And for it to live on, and for it to be relevant to us, we've got to make sure it is indeed useful. So how do we do that? The key concept here is VGI, volunteered geo-information. It's information that you and I and the community contributes and gathers together, and from the grassroots up, builds up. It's going to be a lot faster, it's going to be a lot quicker update, and it's going to be in many areas more accurate because it's the people themselves that do it. OpenStreetMap, you will know about, is one of the most fantastic examples of that. It's a community out there in many countries of the world building street maps that are freely available to everyone and continuously updated in near real time. For instance, in the UK, they managed to map the whole road network in the UK in just under 2 years, and it's freely available. That's amazing. That's something that we're only going to see more and more of. Similarly, in Australia, to be able to deal with rabbits, which are a pest in this country for those overseas, we need to know where the rabbits are. So they built RabbitScan, where people in the community can go online and say, hey, I've seen droppings here, I've seen warrants there, etc., etc. And within 2 months, they had basically done that. Emergency management, the same thing. We've got the agencies who have traditional large systems enterprise, but we've got the community out there also who are twittering about to see a bushfire there. How can we bridge that gap? There's many opportunities to do that, and that's actually a project that we just commenced. It's very exciting. In the US, it's already happening, where the US Geological Survey are monitoring Twitter to see where earthquakes happen, to help that augment it and create risk maps. Hey, here's something happening with people under threat. You can also use it for getting alerts out there. This is the earthquake in Java in September. 60 seconds after it happened, the first tweets on the subject happened. Within 3 minutes, it reached its peak, and tens of thousands of people were getting messages about this event. The commercial sector is stepping into it. This is something that's just emerging. Microsoft Vine This is a tool that you can build a little community, whether it's a community of your family, or farmers, etc., and send each other alerts and keep monitoring of what's happening. So if you want to engage in this, and you should, remember the 3 golden laws of open data. Whatever you put online, make sure you find it, or people can find it, people can use it, so it's available as a web service, and then share it. If you do that, chances are you'll end up not as ISMAC 2.0, but you are relevant, and you will actually not go out of business in the GIS industry. Thank you very much.